See the fingers crossed, y'all? Hopefully there's no echo. I hope y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me and there's not an echo, somebody just say yes or something, please. So, I hope you can hear me. No sound. Or no good sound. Okay, okay. Okay, so everybody can hear me and no echo. Okay, we're going to start over, y'all. So I am actually going to go to my chat real quick since y'all have been so kind to like put up with all the technical difficulties. So I'm just going to check in with all of y'all and then we're going to get started. Okay? So Anna from Canada, good to see you. Thanks for being a member. Indigo Insights Scientology. I love that name. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm getting a new laptop, so hopefully all of this crap will be over with later this week. I just appreciate y'all hanging in with me. I really do. Hey, Gary Mackey, good to see you. Rika, good to see you. Marilee H, thank you for being a member. Thank you for being here. A girl, good to see you. I'm just going down through here. Y'all was chit-chatting. Yeah, with my mess up earlier. Oh my God, I don't know what was going on. I'm almost believing that it might have been something with StreamYard. So we're just gonna have to see. Karen, it's good to see you. I don't recognize that name, but I'm glad to see you. Hope you come back and see us. And you may have been here before, and I just don't remember because you know my brain. Yeah, Gary Mackey says, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. Joe McCoy, good to see you. Third time's a charm. Eric Rader, also good to see you. Brooke is an angel. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just kind of buzzing down through here. EVM, good to see you. Oh, goodness. Eileen Bradley, good to see you. Hello again. Absolutely. We're going to try to get this done this time. I'm a little bit more relaxed so now that I'm not echoing in my ear. CC, good to see you. Good. I'm glad there's no echo. Maya, good to see you. Miss Sunrise Dawn, good to see you too. Goodness, there's a bunch of you in here today. So, oh, thank you, Gary Mackey. That's so sweet for gifting memberships. Cinderella's in here. I saw her name somewhere, so I know she's in here somewhere. Kelly, you too, fan. Good to see you. Fat Grammy. Good to see you. Goodness, you guys. Lots of people coming in. Lots of people. I'm going to put that one right there so that I don't lose my place. Degraded Daughter. Good to see you too. Goodness, lots of people. Good to see you. I'm going to go ahead and get started. The Journey 2020. Good to see you too. I don't recognize that name either. I think that our little co-star today, I think she's bringing in some people. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody, and I want to thank you. I'm going to start completely over at the beginning, y'all. Okay? Because there's a bunch of new people in here. Welcome everybody. I want to thank you for being here and as we talk about support, friendship, and a safe place for everyone, right? Well, today is part one of a series of 3 interviews I'm doing with a lovely young lady who needs all of those things, y'all. I've asked my mods to be hypersensitive to any rude or hateful comments. I don't expect those, but you just never know, right? But when those trolls see somebody that's getting a lot of attention on a live, that's where they show up at. So if you act ugly, you're gone. I told them we don't even have to give them a warning. If they're acting ugly, boot their butts. I don't care about it. Okay, we talk mostly about the horrors of Scientology, but today we're going to tell part one of the story of a young, beautiful, amazing woman who was not in a cult, y'all, but she endured the same abuses and trauma and then some. She's lived multiple lifetimes in her one short, young life. She's not very old, y'all. Through it all, she has somehow, much like our second and third gens, remained a loving, amazing, strong woman. And I'm very, very proud to call her my friend, y'all. I really am. And she's a friend to a lot of you. I didn't realize how many of you are friends with her until we became friends. And then I see she knows everybody and talks to everybody. Today I'm asking that if you are inclined to give me any super chats or any other form of monetary support, don't send it to me. Okay? Send it to her. My mods are going to put um, her links, sorry, in the chat. And so we will definitely be showing that throughout the deal. They're gonna have her links up. So send them to her. She could use the help, as a lot of you know. She was recently burglarized and everything. All of her life saving equipment, everything was stolen, y'all. And so we really need to, if we can, come together and help her. So anything that you were even considering paying to me today, pay to her. Or if you just want to send to her, even if you weren't going to send to me. So anything that's any kind of financial stuff, send it to her. Okay. I'm going to bring her to the stage, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, Brooke Elliott.
It's me, it's
Hi,
me.
it's you again. Y'all, I've
Hi,
instructed
Erin.
Brooke to only speak about any kind of subjects that she's comfortable with. If there's something that she doesn't want to talk about, she's not going to talk about it. And there's some things that she legally can't talk about. So please don't push her. If she doesn't talk about it, please don't push her. You can ask her questions, but just pertaining to what she is talking about, please don't do any kind of, you know, prodding her for other answers. I just want to give her a place to tell her story and in a relaxed and comfortable way. She says I'm like her auntie, so she's just going to sit and talk to her auntie, and y'all get to listen and ask questions. And I'll be checking the chat as we go. Okay, sweetie, let's start at the beginning. Tell me as far back as you can remember. Take your time, breathe, and remember that we all care deeply for you. And this is going to be healing for you to tell your full story and also informative to others because you just never know who's going to hear it and think, I'm not alone. Somebody else is going through this stuff too, especially this first part with the childhood trauma. And then this week, we're going to cover the rest of your life. We're just going to be having you on here all the time.
All up in
So,
my life. That's
all
okay.
up in your life, all up in your life. Aw,
Well, I can start kind of give you a background where I come from.
that's
I grew up in
fine.
a real small town, like 500 families town, private school town. K through 12 was
Yeah.
like under 400 kids. Everybody went to the
Hmm.
same school. My graduating
Sounds
class was
like where I live.
28.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Throw a
My
box, you're
graduating
probably
class was
related.
74. Yeah.
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 Your dating pool's real small around the area,
Yes,
you
it
know what I
is.
mean?
It definitely is. I was always having to say, okay, you're not related to any of these people, these people, these people, right?
Mm-hmm. And you know the name. So I kind of, you just kind of start dating outside of your
Yeah.
area and
Yeah.
outside you just kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally went looking all the way to another state. So
Yeah.
you just never know.
Well, my first husband was my high school sweetheart, so but I knew he wasn't related to us. But my
Yeah.
second husband, I was like, okay, there's just too many relatives. So I went to Tulsa. We live about an hour away from there, and I went, my second one's from Tulsa, so we're not related either. So, but
Thank
anyway, go
goodness.
ahead and let's get started. Let's tell me a little bit
Okay.
about you.
So, like, I'm the first to really go to an actual college from school for my family. Um, but like how I grew up was in that small town, everybody knows your business, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows
Mm-hmm.
your last name, they know your family business.
Oh
Um, so everybody knows who my dad is. and
Yeah.
knows what his family's done and such. And my dad is a hunter fisher,
Uh-huh.
and spent a lot of time doing that. And with that came repercussions because I got introduced to a bunch of people, like
Mm-hmm.
all of his guys that he liked to hang out with, um, and that's about 8 years old is when it really started to be bad, because it really, how it started was my dad would teach me nursery rhymes, like really perverse nursery rhymes, and it was just perversion all the time around you. You got to hear about there once was a man from Nantucket kind of crap, and
Yeah.
if you don't know it, then thank goodness, but if you do, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think they can
But
probably
that's how
pretty
you
much
grew up, and right.
think about a nursery rhyme
And
that might rhyme with Nantucket.
mhm, you can think about it.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
how I learned. I mean, it was a little over sexualized a little bit, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I didn't, you don't, when you're that young, you don't notice it. And then his friends start to talk
Mhm.
to you that way as a child.
Mhm.
And you don't notice it because it's always around you. So it turned from that to um, about 8 was the first time I actually um, was sexually abused.
Mhm.
Um,
And was that by your father or by someone else?
no, one of his friends.
Okay, that's
His
what I thought,
friend,
but I was just
my mom would work umpteen hours. So what happened was, the first memory I have is my father having a friend come to the house who was going to do work or something. I was 8, so I can't really
Mhm.
remember how to
Yeah,
place where he
yeah.
comes from. And I remember being in the house and my father going outside. And when he went outside, his friend would pulled my face down like into my lap and was groping my back end and stuff. And I was trying to scream because I didn't know what to do at 8. And my mom wasn't there. My brother was with my family, so it was just
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
Um, and it was really difficult to know what to do with that. My dad came back in after it was like literally done. Like it wasn't cool. It wasn't like a long period of time. It was just he was waiting for my dad to leave the house. My dad would go
Mhm.
outside. I don't know why he would leave me these with this man, but he did. And
Yeah.
then it started to turn into I was brought other places, and then his other friends would join in, and then I was basically given the the it was like I would go to a wedding. We'd go to a wedding, and one of his friends would come up, and they'd press against me. Like
Mm.
I mean, when you're 12, you're getting
Mhm.
pressed against by a bigger man who is, and you know the difference. You can feel the difference when a man is excited against you. You understand. You
Yes,
feel
you
it.
do.
And I just try to literally, you just try to back away. I mean, it was difficult to push somebody away that you don't aren't sure you aren't sure what their reaction is, because my dad was also volatile, so I grew up
Mhm.
knowing that if I did something wrong, I was going to know about it, like
Yeah.
my brother and I we literally would have a piece of paper back in front of chores when we were little, like it didn't matter if you had school or not,
Mhm.
you were doing a hell of a lot of chores. And it wasn't just normal stuff.
Mhm.
It was like my dad always had a farm, and he always had pigs or a cow or something, anything out back. So your chores were not only what you do inside. And I was a girl, so you're not allowed to do certain things because he's a little on the sexist side as well. He would be like, Um, I wasn't allowed to cut my hair. I wasn't allowed to do nail polish. I wasn't
Mhm.
allowed to say certain things, and children should be heard, not seen. And the only reason he had a child was to have chores done. And these are the things I can hear over and over and
Yeah.
over in my head,
Yeah.
So at the point where his
Mhm.
friends see that that's okay, then what's the difference? My
Yeah.
father made it okay. And
Yeah.
then it turned to it was okay for them to do what they wanted, whether or not he was there.
Mhm.
he already kind of gave permission starting it that way.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell my mom because to me, he was abusive to her verbally. It was verbal nonstop. And he already hit me, he would hit my brother. And it wasn't just normal hitting, he would find what was around him. Um, everything. A belt, the end of a belt buckle. I have a scar on my back. I've had curtain rods,
Mhm.
I've had coat hangers, I've had one time my mom was working, um, she was a home health aide. She was working and my father got mad at something, probably because I think it was something about not doing the dishes so he could cook himself dinner. And I didn't do them in time. And I had to put my knees on a hot radiator for the heat in the house. And
Mm.
he made you put your knees on there for a while. Like you had to sit on that. You had to have your knees on that, bare knees. Or you're
That's
stuck behind the
crazy.
door until your mother gets home. She worked a 10-hour shift. What are you going to do? You have to wait 10 hours behind a door. I, don't be seen nor heard is how I learned it.
Yeah.
Um, so it was just perpetual, it was continuous. It was no matter what you did, it was wrong. Um, I remember going to my grandmother's. My grandmother was a beautician, okay, and she has amazing, amazing nails. She always has. That's what I remember the most. And she painted my nails
Oh.
like this pearlescent color, right? And I was like, she's not. I said, Dad's not gonna like that. She's like, oh, he'll be fine. This is his
Oh.
mother. And oh, he'll be fine. It's fine. It's just a light color. You'll be all right. So I go out to the car to my truck or my dad's truck because he was picking me up from my grandmother's. And the first thing I was, what the H is on your nails? You look
Oh.
like a whoa. You
Mhm.
know the rest of that. I don't really want to say it, but
Mhm.
it's worse than
Yeah.
scandalous. Uh, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, uh, are you serious? Are you kidding me? How do I say this? I grew balls at a certain age where
Mhm.
I always pushed back.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even call me my first name. I was Spawn. This is Spawn. Spawn of Satan is what he's referring to. I'm the spawn of Satan, which I was like,
When you told me that
okay.
before, this is good.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Well,
whole
at
story
10, as
makes
soon as
me
he said
sick,
it,
but
at 10,
that
I
part
said,
doesn't.
you understand that if I'm Spawn, that makes you Satan, right? Like you understand that makes
Yeah.
you Satan. So for the last 31 years, I've been calling that man Satan. So
Yeah.
he said it. Believe what they say to you, right? You believe what someone tells you, they must
Absolutely.
be telling
If
you.
someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Well, and I found ways to push back. It wasn't always good because I'd get hurt from it, but it was my own ways of fighting back. And it wasn't like I didn't try. And it
Mhm.
wasn't like my father's a smart man. That's a horrible thing to say, but he got as far as high school. He was in the Air Force for 2 years and was kicked out. Um,
Mhm.
I think for being overweight or some shit. Oh, sorry. Being
Oh, you're
overweight or
fine.
something.
You're fine.
So I always got mocked. I've been mocked my whole life. Like food was used as a weapon. Like my mom would work umpteen hours. My dad would make sure her money would go to him. So my brother, myself, and my mom would kind of have to fend for ourselves. My first job
Mm.
was babysitting family members' kids at 9, 10 years old. And then any money I would make, I'd
Crazy.
give it help my mom. I'd buy us food. I paid for my brothers and my school supplies when mom couldn't help do it because
Mm.
he was taking the money. He needed the money. He needed a new bass boat. He needed hunting supplies. He needed a vacation, going hunting or fishing. It wasn't
Mm.
about us. We were just there. And my mom, I love her to pieces. She struggled. She struggled her whole life, but she only accepted the love she thinks she deserves, and she thought she deserved that.
Yeah. So
I've been
many people do
trying
that.
this is the whole reason I reached out to this community is because I understand she's going to need a soft spot. That's why I
Yeah.
reached this community. I mean, I don't know
I
why
think she's in
anybody
the
would want to
chat.
watch me, but I'm just Brooke.
Mhm. Well, I think your mom's in the chat.
Yeah,
Is her name Karen?
She knows I was going to do this. I didn't tell her what
Yeah.
happened to me until I was 35.
Wow.
I always wanted to
Mm,
protect her, protect my brother, protect my
mhm.
family, because I learned young. When I was younger, I went to the school. At one day, it was a bad, bad beating. Um, and the next day, I was just exhausted. I was exhausted. I was exhausted. I was
I
been
know.
when you've been ard and you've been touched and you've been exacerbating. I was tired. I'm in the
Mhm.
lunchroom and I couldn't eat, and I was like, "This is what's going on." I gave him all my information, and
Wow.
that was when I was brave. That was when I was 12,
I
13.
think you
I
were
can't remember
brave from the
exactly
time you were little. I think you were always brave.
the problem is when I told them, instead of it being reported, they called my father to pick me up. I got sent back to it. So you got you had to learn. You learn that you can't say anything.
Hmm.
And
Awful.
when I tried to tell family, it wasn't my mother I wanted to tell because she was in it with me, right? We were in the
Hmm.
trenches together. So who do I go to? I tried a couple of ways. And then at some point you're just like, what the hell? Okay, put up or shut up. How am I going to get out of this? How am I going to get out of it? So
Yeah.
I would spend umpteen hours. I would go to school early, and my mom would be like, I was always in school. I was really not going to toot my own horn. I was pretty smart in school. And then I was president and captain of everything. So I joined everything. I ran the
Hmm.
student body. I mean, I went on Saturdays to rewrote the school constitution,
Oh,
like
wow.
so we could vote like regular people do in the world, because I was like, we're not getting educated for the world, and I wanted to make a
Mm-hmm.
change. I was making the change a better world so I could go out into it and be successful. That was how I saw it.
Mm.
If I wasn't
Yeah.
going to get help, then I'll do it myself. And I'll make sure I bring my mom with me and my brother with me. I'll take care of as many people as I can. And
You're
the
amazing.
worst part is that it didn't stop. It didn't stop with the essaying. It didn't stop all the way through that. The last time something happened before I moved away for 11 years was we were at a party. Um, I can't remember why. Oh, end of the hunting season. So end of the
Yeah.
hunting season, and my friends were there, and so I'm friends with everybody's kids. At that point. And there's all ranges of ages. And there's a gentleman there, and my parents wanted to go home early. And I said, "Oh, it's okay. I can get a ride home. My friends were there. They had cars. I didn't. My friends did. I'll be good." Well, my dad arranged a ride for me, right? One of his friends. And I was like, "Okay, he's just a little bit older than me. I should be all right." No, what happened was I got into the car because I said, "Can you please take me home before the lights go out? I don't want to be home late. I don't like to be out, especially with somebody if there's no sun out." I was 18. We were where the party was. We drove a little further down from where the party was onto the land where we come out and lock a gate to protect
Hmm.
it. Like my parents we were the last one to go out of it to go to the party. So we lock it, and he stops by and he says, "Oh, I got to check the gate lock." And I'm thinking, "We just checked that." I know that because my parents and I were the last to go through that.
Yeah.
And he got back in the car because I was just like, whatever. And he leans across me with his full weight and pulls my arms down and gets like down to pull my seatbelt tighter across me and drops my seat back. And then his hands are down my pants. And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God." I said, my dad's going to be really upset if I'm not home early. I mean, I start the rhythm because I've been through this.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks at me and he says, "Who do you think gave me you?" And then his tongue was in my throat. And then I'm squirming. I got scared. I peed my pants. I literally peed. I peed in his seat, and that made him angry.
Mm.
Now, it didn't always work to pee on yourself, because some like it. Uh, but that was the last time that something happened, because 2 months later, I moved away for 11 years from my hometown. It wasn't safe to me. Why would it be? Everyone I knew
Yeah.
had a problem, wanted to touch me, whether you're related or not. Like I said, small town.
Yeah.
So it just didn't stop. It wouldn't stop until I got away. So I ran away. Basically, I went to college, and uh, from there, and I didn't know I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know what to say, and I didn't know how to take care of that. I didn't know where to go with that. And going to college and feeling like you don't even understand what love is, let alone how
Mhm.
somebody's supposed to treat you. Now I'm opened up to all of it. I'm opened up to others treating me that way because in college it happens.
Mm.
My first semester, my first semester, I was ganged.
Bless your
I
heart.
woke up. I woke up after a night that I can't recall, and I was with friends. I don't know how it happened, but somebody brought me, and he was in bed with me, and I had marks all over my body, and I walked down to the college medical, and I let them know, and
Mm.
I didn't change my clothes or anything. I'm so used to it that I was numb. I just said, "Oh, okay, this happened. So you should know," because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have an STD or be sick
Yeah.
or anything because I didn't choose that. To me, I was holding myself. I didn't get to choose who I wanted to lose myself to. And I
Yeah.
didn't choose that all the way through high school. I was like, I'm going to get educated. And I don't want to date my cousin brother or
Yeah.
any of this baloney around me, right?
Yeah.
So my
Oh,
aim was escape.
escape.
So I did. Yeah.
You had told me
It was
that you
difficult.
used to do different things like peeing and pooping and stuff like that to try to get them to stop. And
Yeah.
how old were you when you were doing that?
I first did it on accident at 12. I peed myself when that gentleman at the wedding,
Yeah. Hmm.
I peed myself. And he was like, he was okay with it at first. He was okay with that. I said, I need to go to use the bathroom. I was trying to get myself away.
Hmm.
I'm thankful I brought extra clothes with me because I mean, my parents weren't going to notice at that because they always find a way to corner you. They always find a way to
Hmm.
know when you're alone. That's when they get you. That's when they
Oh
find you,
yeah.
right? And I was like, do I
Oh.
have a sign above my head? I
I
didn't
know,
understand.
right?
Like, what?
You would try to you would probably start feeling that way whenever it was happening so much, but it was really your father that was posting a
He
sign
opened
on
the
you.
door.
Yeah.
Right. He opened the door to his friends. I mean, I can
Mhm.
recall being young. He would, in order for me to get spankings, I would get my pants pulled down in front of me, in front of and my underwear. I'd be down, my underwear and my pants would be down to my knees. I'd have to lay across his lap in front of the boys, the little boys next door. They were older than me, and I'd have to be laid across his lap, bare, to get my beatings.
Mm.
And he would just look at them. And I remember seeing the boys' faces, and they were frozen and like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'm 10, they were like 16 and 17. What are you supposed to do? They didn't know. They didn't tell nobody neither. What were they supposed to do? I don't blame them. But when this is continuous, it's over and over and over. And I tried to give the chances out to be like, hey, this is happening. Or I'd
Hmm.
call him out in front of his mother, or I'd call him out in front of his friends, or I'd call out his friends. I tried to be the brave one. I was okay. I already been abused as far as it could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine, I'll whistle blow. They always called me mouthy in my family. You're like, oh, she's the mouthy one.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah. Well, I saw wrong. I saw wrong when I was hoping for right. All I was ever asked for was the tools to be successful or to be seen or loved for just who I am.
Hmm.
And that wasn't allowed. It wasn't
Hmm.
allowed. You got to remember, I was also in this time in school where before I was in when Columbine happened. I was in school. I was
Hmm.
in high school when that happened. And that changed our entire school. That changed
Oh
how we
yeah.
worked because we all were hunters up there. You know what I mean? Kids would come to the gun racks in their school and stuff. So
Hmm.
it was weird. And then to think
Yeah,
that
they
somebody
did
could
that
break
when
it
I was in
in.
high school too. They'd have gun racks in the back, on the back window of their truck and stuff. And
Yeah, they just be coming in from
oh
hunting.
yeah, or going right after school. Mm,
Yeah. Now, like I said, I feel really bad that I didn't tell my mom until I was much older. But the thing what she said to me, and this is why I knew it. She says, "What's their name?"
mhm,
She wants the names. You know why? You're a mom. What would you
mhm,
want to do? So to me,
mhm.
I'll protect her to the day I die. She will.
Yeah,
One of my persons, what I don't even know what to call them, jerkwads. One of them passed away, and I can't tell you. It was. I feel bad, but I felt so good,
yeah. I can imagine.
and I felt horrible to feel that way. Like it felt
Yeah,
bad to feel okay about that. Because I don't wish
I don't
death
even
upon
I don't even
nobody.
know him, and I'm feeling okay about it. I'm completely okay
Right.
with him dying
And you would
and
say,
probably where he's at.
right, because you want either like they're predator, and it's not like
Yeah,
anybody knew he was a predator. I did though.
yeah.
I did.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
your
I tried to
mom,
take him.
when you
Oh,
told your
sorry. Go
mom,
ahead.
she immediately believed you.
Oh yeah. Because I gave her all
Yeah,
the information. I showed her the signs. I said, "Do you remember this?
yeah.
Do you remember that?" Instead of me
Mm,
giving her my entire story, I wanted to go ahead and time lapse it for her so she could be like, "Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah." My
yeah,
mom would have taken down the world for me if I would have let her know. But I was worried she wasn't strong enough after how she grew
yeah,
up. And that's her story. I'll let her tell that. But how
yeah,
she grew up, she learned differently. It was, I didn't want her to be hurt. She'd already
yeah.
been hurt. And she's like my person that I will always try to be like. She is like the sweetest person in the whole wide world. No joke. And she would bend over backwards for me. She does. She travels all over the place for myself and my brother.
Mm, that's
And, you
wonderful.
know, yeah. So my aim was always to protect. And if I couldn't protect me, at least I could take it so my brother wouldn't get it or my mom wouldn't get it. And I'll
Hmm.
find ways to make it easier. I'll buy dinner. I would spend my food. I would, you know what I mean? Mom,
Yeah,
let me help you. Let me help you get groceries. Let me help you pay the electric bill. Let me help you. That's always, it was the right thing to do. Especially
yeah,
because I got to watch her. I got to watch her hear my father saying, "You belong in a kitchen. You belong in a kitchen barefoot and pregnant." There isn't, I mean, that's his
mm,
mentality. I wasn't allowed to date out of my race. I wasn't
mm,
I wasn't in, it was crazy. He's all the extremes. I'm not joking. Like he is every extreme. He is that.
yeah. Sounds
And
like it.
thing
Sexual
and we
predator,
were how do I say
raping.
what's that?
Mm. I said he's a sexual predator. He's a racist. It's awful.
A bigot, sexist, yeah.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have any rights, basically.
Mm.
And he would he would purposely do things to hurt you. He had this pig. We called her Miss Piggy, and she had a whole bunch of little piglets. Okay, so if I'm gonna be a part of this farm, I'm just gonna do, and I just can't help myself. I see these little cute little piglets. There's this one little cute little black one. I called it Blackie. Oh my god, I would sit right on the grass, and that little thing would boop boop, sit
Oh.
on your sit on. Oh my goodness, it was so cute. Um, but as you get older, it's food. That's how it was explained to me. I wasn't supposed to name it. I wasn't supposed to
Yeah.
be friends with it. I was a kid. I was a kid. I befriended it, and
Well, yeah, I would. I
there
always do
was
too.
yeah. I couldn't help it. I loved all of them. I named every single animal that was on the farm, except for the turkeys. They attacked me and my brother a lot.
Well, they're not so cute.
So no, they don't like you unless you put down food.
Yeah,
She so my that piggy Blackie, it got when it got big enough. It was at the end of the year. My father asked me to come outside to help him, and you don't say no, you just jump. So we go outside, and he hands me a knife, a hunting knife, and he had a gun, and he let my pig go and shot it in the head and said, "Go on." He needed me to go cut its throat to bleed him out. I became a
mm,
vegetarian for 7 years that day.
I don't blame
I,
you.
that's devastating. That was devastating.
Mm, yeah.
And he didn't just do it to me. He did that crap to my brother. Like my brother won't even hunt. He doesn't like he cried the first time he shot something. This
Mm,
wasn't how we were. I mean, we understand where food comes from, but we
yeah,
weren't going to be cruel.
but you don't
We weren't
have
going
to
to
be
be
cruel
cruel
about
about it.
it. Yeah.
My mom
Mm,
taught me that, like she was the soft side. She fought through it. She
um,
was the brave one. She made the change. So I think
yeah,
that instilled into me.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, where is your father now? Is he still in the picture? Is he out of the picture
Not in my
completely?
picture.
Yeah.
He's not. He hasn't been a part of my picture for many years now.
Okay.
I tried. I tried multiple times. I tried. See, anytime I brought anybody home, he wasn't good enough. If my father didn't pick him out, it's not
Yeah.
good enough. And I was
But
married. I
all
got
these
married at 20.
but all these sexual predators was good enough to have a go at you, but somebody you
Correct.
picked wasn't good enough.
Correct. Because they wouldn't be the right kind.
Mhm.
I dated everybody. You know what I went and did? I
Mm,
went and got 23andMe done because my father said you should only date your type, and I said, "What's that?"
mhm.
He's like, "Well, you're white," and I said, "Are you sure?" Not the stories that I heard. We went and got
Mhm.
23andMe done. My mom, I got it from my mom for Mother's Day. I tell you what, I
Mhm.
have everything but Ashkenazi Jew in my bloodline. So I
Oh
was hoping the
wow.
whole 9 yards, but I consider myself worldly just because I know better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow.
No, I always had a bigger picture, and it felt like when I felt smarter than my father, and that sounds like a really bad sentence, but I just feel
No,
like I
it's
had
not.
more tools than he did.
Mhm.
And I don't want
Yeah.
to blame ignorance on his bull crap because that's on him. That's on him how he
Yeah.
treated somebody.
Yeah. You can be ignorant and not be a predator,
Yes.
but he was
Yes.
both.
That's 100%. Um, I have a little I have a little list here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Um,
Yeah.
mm, we did the Satan farm, babysitting, kept returning. Yeah, I think I got a lot of that one done. I just wanted to make sure I didn't skip over um, any
I
of those
just
goodies.
I can't tell you how amazing it is to me that you are such a sweet and just shining star of a person with everything that you've been
Oh,
through. And it does remind me so much of the second and third gens from Scientology. And so that's
yes,
why I wanted to bring you on because trauma is trauma and abuse is
yes.
abuse. It doesn't matter if it was in a cult or if it was in a family or in a workspace or a dating situation. It doesn't matter. Trauma is trauma. And you have just had just an amazing amount, and you're still so, so beautiful and kind. It just, I'm blown away. And I feel just
Well, that's
absolutely honored to call you my friend because I'm just awed by you. So I did
I'm
see a
just Brooke.
question somewhere. It
I
says, "What
promise.
subjects did you study in college?"
I went to multiple colleges. Um,
Mhm.
I studied a lot. I actually have had almost every type of job you could think of, but
I
I started
know.
with oceanography in
Oh
school. I
wow.
did environmental science in school. I did law. Because I did tax law. I did HR. I did nursing. I did mathematics because I really like math.
Yeah.
I've got multiples. I've been to multiple schools for multiple certificates, I guess. I didn't, the only thing I had to pay for, I only had to pay for one school because I was able to get a 4.0 all the way through. So they kept saying,
Uh,
here, you can go back to
yeah.
school. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
not? I think
I love
that's awesome.
studying, so I can understand that going because that's why the whole journalism and researching for these stories and everything is right in my wheelhouse because I absolutely love to study. And I didn't in school. I hated it.
I
So,
loved it. I loved it. My favorite thing was actually helping others. Because even if I was in the course, I was still like tutoring. I was in
hmm.
high school. I was also, oh, mom. I wonder if my mom is in there. She remembers. I used to have women come to the house and I'd help them get their GEDs when I was in school. I would help
Wow,
women get their GEDs because to me,
that's
education was
amazing.
everything. Well, I saw it with my
Yeah,
mom. My mom was dropped out of high school, and then she went back and got her GED, and I couldn't be more proud. And I was like, okay, let's go to college. I was like,
absolutely.
I
I
don't even
think
care
it's
if it's just
amazing.
yeah. I wanted to push her further because I know what she had. She's an
Yeah.
amazing person. I'm like, you need more education. Go back. So she went to college. I was like, yeah.
Wow,
And then
that's
yeah, and then
amazing.
on top of that, she did nursing. She was a nurse for a long time. And then now she drives heavy equipment. She's the first
Oh
woman
my
ever to
goodness.
become an engineer. Like she was not an engineer. What's that called, Mom? You'll have to remember. But she was the first woman ever. Like I toot her horn wherever I go. She's the first woman
Yeah.
ever in 250 years to become an operator at an
Oh.
international paper. So like, I'm proud of her. She's accomplished a lot, and she can stand on her own 2 feet, and I don't have to worry. Only thing I worry about
Mm-hmm.
is what happens after I go because we're close. We're real close. So I came to this community because one, the second gems in my story, it makes sense. I can
It
empathize. I
does.
understand. I understand when you have nowhere to go or nowhere to say anything and you're like, this is BS. What do I do with this? And you're
Yeah.
being hurt either way, any way you turn. And the one
Yeah.
person you want to take care of, the one person that you want to make sure is okay, my brother, my mother, you'll take it. You'll just take it. You'll take it till you don't have to anymore.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I saw my childhood. And it wasn't like all of my childhood was horrible because I did
Your mom
amazing
says
things.
woodyard operator. That's what your
Yes,
mom said.
she would operate big cranes and stuff. Like, oh,
Yeah.
just unreal. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
You'll
My
have to
last
bring her
job was an
on.
interior designer. I'm a
Oh
plumber.
wow. Oh,
I wanted to make something for Natalie so I could help her do random things you should know to be able to do in your house.
yeah.
Like how to change out faucets, how to take care if there's a water leak, what are things you can do, things you should have. Just because
Mm,
I understand she's going to be going through a loss, but that's stuff I want to learn.
yeah.
I just wanted to learn
Yeah.
everything. I wanted to be everything. And I got to travel everywhere, which will be part two, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. You might try to get your mom to come on for part three and kind of talk about today, like present time and everything. I'd love to have your mom on too. So,
Yeah,
if
she
she wants
works like
to.
a psychopath. So if she would,
Yeah.
I'd be like, come on, mom. I'll make her come up
Yeah.
here. She'll sit right next to me. We can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, we can do it around your time, whatever's good for you all. That's what I'm pretty easy. I'm a night owl, so I'm up late. I'm up early in the morning. I'm all over the place. So I only
I
sleep
want to make
about three
sure
or
it's,
4 hours.
I want to be careful with her though, because this is a hard
Yes.
thing. And this is the
Absolutely.
first time I've told my story aloud.
Hmm.
She just learned about it and she's just learning some of this.
Hmm.
Today,
It
I
has to
don't
be
think
so
she's
hard
learning,
for her.
and that's what I worry about. That's why I know this community will be okay because they'll take care of
Hmm.
her because she's not a
Hmm.
bad person. If she would have known, I know she would have done something. I just couldn't
She's
afford to lose
saying
her. I
no.
needed her.
She says, no, I can't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It's a hard
And
one.
that's
It's
fine,
hard.
but she's welcome. I'm just putting it out there that if she decides she wants to, she's welcome.
Of course.
Yeah,
Maybe after
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have her back on some other time. I just wanted to make sure she knows she's welcome. I mean, no
That's
pressure.
nice. Thank you, Susie. That's very kind. She loves this community as much as I do.
Oh, it's a
I make her meet
wonderful
everybody. I'm
community.
like,
I just
hey, this is
absolutely
my
love it.
mom. Be nice or I'll
Oh,
kick you out.
yeah. Oh, oh, and Karen, you have nothing to apologize for, sweetheart. If you ever want to come on, you are welcome, but there is absolutely no pressure. I don't put pressure on people. I just don't.
No, I wouldn't want her. I wouldn't want her to. There's other reasons too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
also, I'm her daughter. It's a hard story.
absolutely.
And I know my mom, she'd be like, I would have protected you, I protect you. And I know she takes guilt on her. And
Hmm.
she shouldn't at all. This has
Yeah, if she
nothing to do
didn't
with her.
know, then she didn't know.
No. She was
So,
already dealing with him, with Satan.
yeah, she had her own that she was dealing with.
Yeah.
So, I
And she was trying
understand.
to do what she could to protect and survive, with my brother and I to protect us all. And you got to remember that you're talking, I'm 41. I might not be old. I ain't young.
You're still
But that
young.
was still a time I remember when it was okay for women to not be okay with their spouse,
Mhm.
where, the men still ruled in the area. And then we were
Well,
in
it
a
hasn't
rural
been that
area.
long ago it hadn't been that long ago that we couldn't even get a credit card. I mean, it's been in my
Yes,
lifetime.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, the
That's
world is
why I
way
fight.
different right now.
Hopefully
If
it'll
this was
stay that
happening
way.
to you now, if you were a child now, handled it different. I don't know why my bills are saying disconnected. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay. But I don't know. If it was happening now, it's a totally different world. You might have handled it different. She might have seen things. But back then, I absolutely understand.
Even my parents' marriage. I mean, I'm a twin. My twin died in birth, like where when I was,
Wow.
yeah. So when my mom got pregnant, I remember she told me that when my father asked her to marry him was 2 months after they met, she got pregnant, and he tried to drive her
Mm,
into a lake, making her marry him. So that's,
mm. So it was from the
which may
beginning.
have been cute, would just be gross to other. We would be like,
Yeah.
"What the hell's wrong with you? Get
Yeah.
me out of this car, and you're gonna see a police officer in about 2.2." But
Yeah.
I
Uh,
don't know.
well, I'm going to look
And the
at some of
stories
my
are hard.
chat.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
No, you go. No, you go ahead. The stories are hard, but what?
The stories are hard, and I've been going through. I have been seeing therapy all over the world. So I've had therapy since I was, oh my goodness, at least 20 years of therapy now.
Wow.
And it's just to it was first I had to put stuff away because I
Mhm.
still at even at in my 20s and 30s, I still tried to get in Satan's good graces, to tell you the truth, to be like,
Mhm.
maybe if I could just be funny, maybe if I can show him, maybe if I could just
Uh,
find a way for him to see that I'm not a bad person and I can make good
yeah.
choices and that I was smart enough and I could make money and I didn't need him to give me his money and he should have that. How long do you have to dig a hole? How long do you dig a hole before you know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no escape.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it. Is there he was no escape. I was never going to satisfy what he needed from me, and I didn't know what that was. I still don't, but
Anyway.
at this point I'm like, I don't need to give you anything, let alone my time.
Yeah.
So,
So he
thanks
is
for
still
your
alive.
50% of your DNA though.
Yeah. Hey, it puts you with more worldly DNA just by having his DNA too.
Yes, and I can be like, and by the way, you're not pure white.
Yeah. I did the whole ancestry thing too, and my dad was like, if you find anything interesting, I want to know about it. And I was like, oh, I mean, he's 74, and people from different generations, they have different ideas sometimes about races and all this stuff. But my dad's usually pretty cool about it. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know. So anyway, I found that he's got a lot of different stuff in there, and so he said, "Did you find any black relatives?" And I said, "Yes, Dad, I did." And he goes, "Cool." 74-year-old man. He's like, "Cool."
My mom and
He's like,
I,
"Go with
we
me."
were always excited to find, like, her and I were
Yeah.
excited because we knew my mom has Italian, Native
Uh-huh.
American. She's got a mixture in her, so we always knew that we had mixture. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
what's wrong with him? Is he blind? I mean, he's married to somebody,
Yeah.
and I'm mostly Spanish. So what's wrong with you? And
Oh
the fact
goodness.
that, we could prove him wrong, boy, did that feel good because I can just be like, I don't have to say a
Oh
thing.
yeah.
I know the right. I know what's
Yeah.
right.
Uh, I'm gonna check in with some of my chat and see what they've had to say.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna read that. I didn't see a whole lot of questions, just a whole lot of compliments and love. So
Oh,
anyway, it might take me a minute because I have to go through where they're just like talking to each other, or
yeah.
you
I'm
know.
sorry. I'm sorry, Chad. I'm not reading anything. I love you. I'll watch it on replay and be like, oh, Brooke.
Uh, yeah. So we've got. They're putting your links in there, and I hope that somebody sends you something. Anything, anything
Y'all been
helps.
real kind.
So I'm glad.
Y'all been
I'm really
real
glad.
kind to me. So I mean, I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting it, and I'm hoping I'm here Monday. Monday is when I go and see the investigator at the property,
Hmm.
and I think they may have. I think they may have. Well, I think they confirmed a person that we've agreed upon of a name, because I don't know many
Wow.
people in my in my circle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we may have found whom and maybe what he may have left. And
Cool.
then I'm gonna ask him to put up a light that y'all sent to me so that he broke getting into my
Yeah.
house.
Oh.
So it's been real nice, the community, and I'm telling you, the words that anyone just has just said the nicest things to me, the nicest
Oh yeah.
things,
This is an
meant
amazing
more to me
community.
than the money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Joe
I
McCoy
felt
says
not
this is a
alone.
kindness zone only. So Joe McCoy, he's an amazing person.
Yeah, I know who he is. A
Yeah,
lot
he's
of these
something.
people I do know.
Yeah. Oh,
They might not always
Indigo's
know me, but I
insight.
guess they'll know me now.
Yeah, absolutely. Indigo's insight Scientology says she is a ray of light and love, Miss Brooke. You always make me laugh. Aw.
Oh, that's awful sweet.
Some people are like, Rika was like, Brooke! Hmm.
I jump in her stream all the time.
Your mom says, love you, Brooke. Mom is here.
Love you, mommy.
So sweet.
Mm.
Degraded daughter says, hot damn, Brooke, you're hot.
This is a hot mess,
Aw.
girl.
She says, or more eloquently put, you are as beautiful on the outside as you are on the inside, which is absolutely true. When I saw your pictures, I was like, damn, she's good looking.
What? I'm 41. I feel all wrinkly. I got gray
Oh,
hair
no,
starting.
no, no. You're great. You're great.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. It's hard for me to take compliments. I don't know if you've noticed. It's kind of
Yeah.
preconditioned with a childhood. So
Yeah.
I'm working
Yeah,
on it.
absolutely. Gary Mackey was here, but said he had a 15-hour shift coming up, so he needed to take a nap. But he will catch the
Hot
replay.
diggity. Please
Can you
do.
imagine 15 hours? Oh,
I used to do 17 hours. I remember. I
yeah.
remember those
I've
days.
done some big
Yeah.
ones too. Marilee
I
says,
worked
Karen, we're
three
here for
jobs
you.
at 16, so that was never a big deal. You got four. Remember
Oh,
back in the day when you could get 4 hours of sleep and you just wake up and be like, back at it
yeah.
again? If I tried that, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Like, and I can
Mm.
work 4 hours and sleep 20. If we can just do that math, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, I might only sleep 4 hours at night now, but I also take a couple little naps during the day. With this chemo, I can't stay awake. I'm just always like falling asleep and so
100%. I took a nap between shower and makeup today, so
yeah.
and I got as far as eyeliner, and I was like, okay, you guys are gonna have to enjoy my
Yeah.
freckles and all everything else that's going on.
We can't see it. You look great. La
Oh, thanks.
Chameleon says, I'm late. Hi, Susie, Brooke, mods in chat, heading back to the start. Brooke, it's wonderful that you can be here. Absolutely.
That's another sweetie pie right there. La Chameleon
Yes.
also sent me very lovely words and very nice people. Our community is chock full of the nicest people.
I know it. And my chat, I'm telling you, I love everybody in here. I think I've only had in like 4 months two trolls, and they were like little baby trolls. Like they're just starting out. They couldn't find really much to say, but my chat is just like not gonna have it. So
Right, because people are like, mm, yeah. And you're like, oh
yeah.
boy. Oh, that's cute. Thanks for playing. Goodbye
Oh.
now.
Eileen Bradley
I
says
prefer
not
it that way,
calling
Susie.
someone
You
by
don't
their
need no
name.
trolls.
No, I don't. Not calling someone by name is clear dehumanizing. Absolutely, Eileen, you're right. Oh, Eric Rader says Brooke is so brave.
Oh, Eric made me brave. He's my hero. I wouldn't have done
He
this if it
is
wasn't for
something
him.
else.
I hope he
Indigo's
knows what he
insight.
means and what he has done for me. I hope he knows.
Oh, I know it. I hope he does too.
I mean, he totally went completely 100% against everything. I was like, no, Eric, don't do anything. Because he's the first
Yeah.
person I talked to.
He's like,
And he was
he
like,
did it anyway.
oh, I was like, God bless him for
Like,
that.
oops.
Bless him.
Yes,
Thank God he did.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Because then
And I'm so
I've
glad
never
that
felt
people
so
are helping
lifted.
you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Indigo says that brains and beauty, Brooke, you are truly amazing. Lots of
Thank you.
hearts, lots and lots of love sent to you. Eileen Bradley says, after being traumatized once, the chances of it happening again vastly increase. Unfortunately, predators can sniff it out.
Yep.
Absolutely. It
Learn
is
that one.
sick, but yeah. Cinderella says, I can totally relate to being the sassy one. Oh, Eileen says they aren't gentlemen, they aren't even people, they are creatures, and it's okay to be happy that they're no longer walking around. A girl says Karen is amazing, and your
That's
mom
true.
says I love you so much. So
I love you too, Mommy. Hope it didn't hurt too bad. I'm sorry.
she did say she had a snotty nose. I saw somewhere. So
Yeah. Because she'll
uh,
internalize this. She will.
yes, she will.
That's what I worry about the most.
As moms, we know that. I know that as a mom that I internalize everything that my kids go through. Joe
Hmm.
McCoyne, he is always so brilliant. He said, the fabric of life is always woven with dark colors. Brooke has managed to get bright colors into her fabric in spite of the dark. I say, bravo, Brooke. You are a bright light.
God,
That's
he's so
very
good
sweet.
with words, Joel
I
McCoyne.
know it. Joe McCoyne is. He's like Blake.
Can you just write me a book, Joel? Can you just write me
I
one?
know. I know. I'm like, can you teach my husband how to write love letters or something? He will every once in a while he'll draw a heart, and put Mark. And I'm like,
Hey,
better than nothing, I
we
guess.
accept what we get sometimes, okay?
Yes,
He probably is like,
absolutely.
honey, I can't draw. I can't draw two things together. Here's a stick figure. I think it's you.
Marilee says, Karen, just look at her smile. She's brave and strong, and that comes from you.
Oh,
So
that's
people are
sweet.
loving on your mama too.
As they should.
Your
She's a good
mama says
woman.
she's so beautiful and smart and tall.
That is true. My mom is quite short. Us kids, my brother's six foot
Oh,
eight, so we were the
yeah,
ones that grabbed off the top shelf and all that.
yeah.
It's what we
That's
did.
funny.
We would just make a lot of short jokes to her. It's quite funny.
Indigo says, "That's amazing, Brooke. I'm terrible at math. I'll give you the numbers. I'm good at writing, storytelling, and love literature." A girl says, "Brooke is inspirational."
Oh, she's a little cutie pie. I love that woman.
Indigo says, "Karen, you're an amazing woman."
Mm.
And Indigo also says, "Karen, if you ever need to talk or get support, I've got your back, or we've got your back." Absolutely. Karen, if you ever need anything,
Indigo.
we've got your back. Indigo is a sweetheart.
I know.
Yes.
She also sent
Evie
me, thank you
says,
for your gift too, Indigo. You've been real kind to me as well.
Evie said, "Karen and Brooke are both amazing, strong women." See, Karen didn't even have to be here and she's getting the love.
Yep. Have at it, Mom. I'm happy to share. I'll push over.
Indigo says, "I love decor too, Brooke. Have you ever laid Sims? You can build and design virtual houses." Or laid
Oh,
Sims.
I was a kind of a different designer though. I got inspiration from weird stuff. Like I like to take trash and make it treasure. And
Hmm.
I would do like my last job before I got really sick was $5.5 million job in Vermont.
Oh, wow.
Um, and I would do crazy things. I always had person pick out something of metal. So like let's say I'm doing the kitchen, I'd say pick out a faucet, pick out some metal. One that tells me the type of metal, what they're looking for. I can design a whole
Hmm.
room around that. And I'd
Oh,
say, okay, I need
absolutely.
something. I can say, okay, now I need something personal from your personal that you want in this room, that you want to come in and you want to
Yeah.
see that it's in your room. And then I said, okay, now I need something else. I need one more item. I need an earth item. Give me something with water or rock or fire, and then I would just draw from there and make a whole new house.
Yeah.
I got pretty well
Wow.
known. Then I
Yeah.
got
That's
sick.
amazing, though. That's a cool way to go about it.
Yeah, and then I always
Oh.
took trash and made it into cool things, like a bunch of plumbing supplies. I'd made like shooter games for this bar that's over in Vermont, and like I just come up with random
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And it was just weird. And I didn't care how much money you had. If you had $1, come to me. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have 5 million? Okay, that's a lot of money. So how many rooms are we doing? But
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to
yeah,
have 5 million to spend on something.
5 million, that's a lot more money I've ever seen my whole life. So
I
I was like,
know.
okay,
Me
people.
too. Eric Rader said Brooke is an absolute hero. Indigo says parents love their children so much, even if mentally they know it's not their fault. Emotionally, it's hard to see, hear, in the suffering of your child. So, yeah, even if she knows it's not her fault, she's going to internalize it.
Yeah, I know she will. That's why I try to take care of her before, middle, and after.
Yeah. And we're all going to take care of her now. We'll all take care
Yeah.
of her.
Haha, Mom. I got a bunch of me's.
Yeah. Yeah, a whole bunch of you. Degraded daughter says, "Brooke, thank you for sharing with us. You are truly a beautiful woman, inside and out, and I'm thankful that you're a part of this community." I am too. Degraded
Oh,
daughter,
that's so
absolutely.
nice.
Yeah, they've got your Cash App, your PayPal, your channel, your wish list, all that's on here. So you might be
Yep,
getting some
don't
more
feel
mail,
forced to
girl.
do nothing. It's just
No,
Eric made me do
absolutely.
it.
They won't.
I'm blaming you, Eric, right now. That's what you get.
Eileen says you look younger than your age. And Eric says, "Brooke, like butter, makes everything better." He's
Parquet, Eric,
something.
parquet.
Yeah, Parker. Uh, Joe McCoy says, "This has been a lot of things, but powerful is a good way to put it. I have enjoyed being here. I hope the rest of your weekend is filled with joy. See you all on the next one." Aw.
thanks for everyone. I like I said, I'm just Brooke. I don't think my story is any better or different or than anybody else.
It's that
So if
you're being
anybody wants to hear it, it's just
strong.
surprising.
It's you're being strong and sharing with us, and that's very, very just lovely.
No.
I mean, it just is that you're being so brave and sharing with us because you don't know who this might touch. Somebody on sitting in the chat or a lurker or on the replay crew may have went through the same kind of thing or may have a child that's going through the same kind of thing, and it might make
Yeah.
them think about it differently or see it differently or be like, "Oh my God, my child's doing the same thing." And you just never know who you're going to help. You just absolutely never know.
Well, if it helps, I'm glad. It's not an easy
Yeah.
story. And
No,
how
it's
I see
not.
it is why I fight so hard for this community is because I may
Absolutely.
have gone through it, but it stopped. This community is watching it still perpetuate against Scientology
Mhm.
kids, and I want
Mhm.
that to stop. So, like I always say, I might not be able to solve MS, but I will watch COS go down. I will watch it happen in
Yeah.
my
Me
lifetime.
too. Me too.
Hmm.
That's how I am with cancer. I'm just like, you know what? This might take me out, but I'm going to take out Scientology. Not personally
Yes,
alone,
ma'am.
but you know what I mean. It's
Right.
part of,
No,
yeah,
we'll just be
part
in
of
this
this
little
big
puddle.
community. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Brooke, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and I will get with you probably tonight or tomorrow and talk about what we're going to do on Tuesday, if Tuesday's good for you. And if you'll
Yeah.
send me some more pictures, maybe adult pictures that I can use on the
Yep.
next two lives, then that would be
I
great.
shall.
Guys, just keep her in your heart. She's still going through so much. You'll hear about that next week. She's just got a lot going on with her health and everything and is still such an amazing person. So again, if you're so inclined, please use those links to send her some money or something on her wish list or just, go to her deal, huh?
Just write me. You can just write me.
Just write her a kind words. She's not asking for money. We're doing it for her because she won't. So me and Eric are like our biggest cheerleaders. We're like, we're going to do this. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and I'm going to say goodbye to my chat, and I will talk to you later on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys, wasn't she amazing? I think she is just absolutely amazing. I've talked to her and read her. She's emailed me several times, and I'm I'm in awe of her. And the rest of her story is just as fascinating as today's. We're going to talk Tuesday about her as an adult. And then on Thursday, we're going to cover more of like what's going on now with her life. So you've got two more times with her. Thank you, Eric. You are the one that brought her to me. Well, she had emailed me, but you were the one that really brought her to me and that I went after her story. So you're amazing. You've helped her so much. You're absolutely amazing. So I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go have some dinner with my husband. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow. But if not, for sure the next day, but probably tomorrow. I've got a pretty interesting one coming up. So I'm going to go. I love you guys. I'll see you later.